So today's redstone video is going to be a bit of an interesting one, because for the entire time that I've had my YouTube channel, the way that I've recorded my redstone videos is I've recorded in cuts. So I'll do a bit and then I'll cut it out, and then I'll do the next bit and I'll cut it out, and I piece it all together to create one coherent video. But throughout the entire time that I've had my YouTube channel, people have always asked that I do a redstone video without any of the cuts, completely uncut. It has none of the nonsense taken out, and we just do it all in one take. And you know what, I've been thinking about this, and I thought it would be interesting just to try it out for one redstone video. So this is going to be a one-off. I'm going to try my best to record a full redstone video without any takes. Now I'm going to warn you, expect some silences, expect me to get very confused, expect me to get things wrong quite frequently, and expect just all the things that you would not see to be in this video. I have no clue how long it is. We're going to try our best to build a new aquarium door today, and we're going to try our best to make it work in survival mode. So you know the aquarium door that we built just recently? It was a 3x3 design, and it had glass at the front, and then a 3-block lap, and then glass out the back, and then we had the water in the middle, then we had the dispensers that would spawn in the fish, and they would all swim around inside the water, and then when we wanted the door to open up, it would actually kill all of the fish. Yeah, see, that's great, but unfortunately that's not going to work in survival mode, so we're going to try and make one that actually does work in survival mode, and I'm going to make it slightly smaller, so it's going to be 2x2, but the idea is that we're going to have block swappers at the bottom, which are going to swap out soul sand, so all of the fish will shoot up to the top. They'll be stored in like a containment facility, and then the door will be able to open up. And then when we want it to close, obviously the glass will close up, then the water will drop down, and all of our fish will drop in. So I guess let's get to it. And straight away, I'm already confused as to how we're going to do this. This is actually going to be quite challenging. This is a bit of a tricky one to take on as my first ever redstone contraption in one take, and also it's extremely warm today and I'm not able to have my fan on while I'm recording. So obviously generally because I record in takes, oh man, this is not a good start. Generally because I record in takes, I'm able to put my fan on between takes, but that's not going to be the case today. So gradually I'm going to be getting warmer and warmer throughout this entire recording. But anyway, if we just do a bit of this. So this is going to be our block swappers in the center, so we can have some blocks pointing across like this. Yeah, that should do the trick, and then some blocks pointing across like this on this side. That'll do the trick there. So then we're just going to have regular, say, quartz blocks on the bottom down there, and then on the sides we're going to have our soul sand, and that will swap those out. And then I guess we'll have to have dispensers in the walls to provide the water source blocks, because they need to be water source blocks for our soul sand to actually work, to actually produce the bubbles to shoot all of our fish upwards. And then up at the top here, we're going to need our blocks, which I suppose will probably have to be slabs. Yeah, they'll probably have to be slabs with water on the inside, but I'm not 100% certain. They could end up just being blocks. We'll have to wait and see on that one. And then up at the top here, we'll actually use a different color of glass, but this is where our containment facility is going to go. And we're probably going to need even more dispensers there to force the fish to drop down to the bottom. So we'll need to take out all of this water. Yeah, if we take out the water, then the fish will drop down into this water down here. Yeah. And then we can close up. Yeah, that all works. I hope this is all making sense so far. And already we're 4 minutes in. So this shows you how much gets cut out of these redstone videos. Hopefully this should give you a rough idea of just what goes into these videos and what goes on behind the scenes. Because yeah, a lot goes into them. And this is only a really simple build. You can see this is the piston layout. It's really simple. I'm just hoping, fingers crossed, that this thing actually works, because that would be very disappointing if we get into this and 60 minutes in, it doesn't end up functioning. That would be incredibly depressing. But anyway, if we actually do a quick dry run with just levers, then we should actually be able to find out that information. And I'm just thinking, how on earth am I going to power this? So if we run in a repeater there, we're not going to get any bud powering going on, and actually that's quite an elegant solution. So then, yeah, we have something like that going on. And then if we were to run something like this out here. This is literally just for the test, so that we can test things out. So that will control those pistons. We need to be able to control that piston indirect from everything else. So I guess something like that will have to do. This block swapper is going to be based on a system a little bit like this. Obviously, I will end up using different colored concretes, but that is that block swapper done. And then we will have some form of repeater setup running into here. So that is basically all of the inputs just for one side. And then the way that we're going to have to do this, so this will be extended across. That's our door closed, and these will have fired. So then we'll have to retract the water first, so power that. And that will... Oh, wow, okay. Oh, wow, this is more complicated than I was expecting. So currently the door is closed. The door is closed. So we need to... The first thing that needs to happen is swap this out. That will shoot the fish upwards. Then we need to retract the water. Then, okay, shoot the fish upwards. We then need to extend out this piston so that they stay up there, and we need to make sure that this water is there, and then we can finally retract those those blocks. So then the fish will be up at the top here, inside the water. You know what? We should probably try this out on both sides. Oh, you know what? No, we probably don't need to. I think we should just get into the business of actually wiring this thing up and connecting up these things. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to quickly change out the color of all of these things, because we want these redstone lines to be distinct from one another so we know exactly what's going on. And I'm actually going to power them in a similar way to what we have going on here. So we'll probably have something like this going on, and maybe blocks on both sides, because this seems to be, yeah, as far as I can tell, this really is kind of like the only way that we can really power all of this stuff. Because that needs to be on... Yeah, there really isn't too many... I suppose we could power these pistons via a redstone line up at the top there. We could do something like that, and then we could power this just by using something like this, because there's not going to be any bud powering going on. So maybe, yeah, that might be better. So if we place in some glass across the top there, and then we'll have a redstone line which connects up all of this. So let's grab ourselves maybe some lime. Lime's probably one of my favorite colors for hardened concrete. And that will go up and over like this. So that's that powered. Okay, so we've connected up all of those, and then to do these pistons, there's no real elegant way to do that other than something a little bit like this. So if we have a slab in the middle to make sure that we're not doing any bud powering, and then do something like that, then we can wrap that redstone up and over like that, and we can power any of those blocks there, and that will power all of these pistons all at once. Cool, okay, that's good. This is an independent one, and we can leave that as blue. That's fine. This one in the center here, I guess. Yeah, so that will be... Let's grab ourselves... What color should we go for here? Maybe yellow? Yellow's a good color. And that will power that central piston there. Okay, so we have to run in another repeater in here, and that's how we're going to power that one. And then I guess up at the top here, we're going to need some form of block to stop that redstone connecting up with anything. Yep, okay, all starting to make sense now. And then down at the bottom here, we can have something like a pink concrete block. And that will do our block swapper. Yeah, okay. Cool, alright. Now we need to repeat exactly the same thing on the other side. So, let's go through this. Obviously, once again, this is the stuff that would normally be taken out of my videos. There's so much, actually. It makes you realize when you're actually recording this stuff, how much gets taken out. I mean, even this is just simply doing the basic wiring diagram almost. Just getting my head straight. And you don't realize how long you actually spend just kind of sitting there, not necessarily staring into blank space, but just trying your best to work out exactly what's going on, and just trying your best to kind of get things calculated. And it can go on for so long. When you're working on a large scale redstone contraption, you could be sat there for the best part of an hour or two, just not even touching the keyboard and mouse, and just kind of staring blankly into space, waiting for something to come to you, and waiting for some form of direction as to where to go next. And it can be, it can be a tiny bit infuriating at times, because, and especially if it never ends up working, that's happened a number of times. Obviously, I mean, throughout the entire history of my YouTube channel, that's happened tons, where I will build something, and I will try my best to think of how to build it for ages, and it will just never come about. It will just never come around. Anyway, okay, so let's start wiring this thing up. So when the door is closed, oh boy, this is going to be a complicated one for me to calculate. So when the door is closed, I think I'm going to do this. Okay, so right now, I guess we should swap these blocks around, because we want. So at this point, the door is open. And we're not really relying on anything too crazy in terms. We've got no piston extensions going on. We've got no falling edge and rising edge monostable circuits that really need to happen. This is purely going to be based on pulse extenders, I guess. Except for the fact, okay, that's actually going to be a pulse. Okay. So the first thing that we want to happen, and this is not going to be compact in the slightest, is we would like, so the yellow circuit is, or no, the orange circuit, which is fitting because we're starting off with that. So we want our doors to close immediately. We want that glass to come in immediately, but we want them to open up late, because we want that to be the last thing that happens. So we're going to need a pulse extender for that one. So that's the first thing that we can work on. So I guess I will put that around about there. I'm actually going to clean up my inventory a little bit, and then we'll take an input from that one. And as I say, this is going to be a really rough and ready kind of wiring system, and it's going to be very, very basic in the way that it functions. Yeah, because these will just fire on a falling edge monostable circuit. Okay, I'm gradually getting there. I'm gradually getting there with this idea. Okay, so we want these doors to close up. So let's get, how long of a pulse do you reckon? Probably not far off, something like this. So let's see. So that will power immediately. And then we have that amount of time. I'd say we probably need a little bit more than that. Yeah, that's got to be enough. That's got to be enough for this system here. And we're going to take the output from probably this side, and we'll run that out the back. And we will loop that through into each one of these, which actually, it turns out, are in quite an annoying location, but that's no problem. So I guess we can run that up using slabs. And as I say, compactness is not even going to factor in to this scenario here. I just want to get it done, and I want to get it functioning, and I just want to see if I'm able to record a full Redstone video in one take. In a way, this is almost like a live stream, because I used to live stream. Occasionally I would do a Redstone live stream, but mainly for the most part it was Hermitcraft. The issue that I found with live streaming for me is that my brain doesn't work too well at talking and doing at the same time. And maybe there's a chance that that is literally just out of habit, because I've always recorded in takes. I've never been required to kind of think in a cut, because if I stand there thinking for too long, yeah, and I just have dead silence and things like that, I will stop recording, and then I can then move on to the next take. And it's actually something that I've been trying my best not to cut out recently. More recently, you will have noticed that I kind of have a few little points where are these? Okay, that's going in the opposite direction, so we'll have to flip these ones around. But yeah, you may have noticed that in some of my slightly more recent videos, you kind of get more of the impression of me thinking, just because it's not something that I want to cut out, especially in the videos where my redstone videos have almost changed in style from being mainly tutorial based to build along, just because I find them more fun to record, and by the looks of the statistics you find them more enjoyable to watch. I've tried to include more elements of me actually thinking things through, because me thinking things through, I mean, that's what I do in these redstone videos. It's me essentially problem solving on the fly, and it's quite interesting to catch that in the video. Okay, yeah, no, see, this is what I mean. So you have just seen the first silly mistake that I've made in this video. Of course that's not going to function like that. No, of course it's not. So we're going to have to go in with a completely different wiring setup here. And I would say, I mean, okay, there's a number of different ways in which we can do this. But none of them are particularly elegant. None of them are anywhere near as elegant as the solution that we had just then. Unless, of course, we power them using redstone torches. In which case, we have something like this, and then we actually get rid of the ugly half slabs up at the back, and then we can literally run in a repeater into this, and that is, yeah, I think it's safe to say that that's actually a more elegant solution. And that deals with it. Yeah, that deals with it absolutely fine. Okay, yeah, we'll do something like that. So we need to run this up like this. And then... how come that's like that? Is this off center as well? Was I building that wrong? I think I might have been building that one wrong. Okay, let's wipe all of this out. And if we just get our redstone torches in like this. So that will power those ones. This will power these ones. And then we have the two on either side. And that will invert that redstone signal. And then the redstone dust in the center. And then we can just run this up like this. And all of that will be connecting in there. So that does the piston doors. That does the piston doors just fine. So when we flick this lever here, you can see that it takes a long time, and then eventually those doors retract. And that should give our system enough time to run through all of the things that actually need to happen before the doors close, and then before the doors open even. And then with the doors closing, obviously the doors need to close so that we can start getting all of the water in, and we can start actually filling this place up with fish and other bits and pieces like that. Okay, so next up. So we've done that. So the next thing that happens, I think I'm going to concentrate on the opening, I guess, first. So when this happens, we then need to have a falling edge monostable circuit which fires on our soul sand down at the bottom here. So these two block swappers. So we'll have to get some form of power in there. So let's see, where is the pink concrete? So that will run in like this, and that will run in like that. And then, yeah, we can connect up this redstone here. And then if we just take a falling edge monostable circuit, so that will be a dropper, I'd say a dropper hopper. See, we need to give it enough time, actually. We need to give it enough time to fire. So we're actually going to need, so our floor level is here. So still dropper hopper. Is it getting dark again? It's 2 nights spent already, and we haven't made anywhere near as much progress. You know, part of me thought I was going to get this finished within 20 minutes. I thought it'd be a nice 20-minute video, but no, it looks like we're going for the long haul today. So yeah, so that's the falling edge monostable circuit, and then we're probably going to need some form of pulse extender here. And we're going to be using mainly, these are all kind of fairly old school redstone circuits. As I say, we're not really going for compactness. I just want to see if we can get this done. So that'll be that. It probably doesn't need to be that long. Okay, we'll use something like this. So the redstone will go over the top. Because the thing is that the soul sand is a little bit slow to react when it comes to, when it gets pushed in place of water. It's a little bit on the slow side. Now I'm curious. So if we just give this bit a tester on its own. So if we were to disconnect. yeah, if we were to disconnect this redstone here, so nothing's going to get powered, if we do that, whew, okay, that's really not long enough. Yeah, that's not long enough in the slightest. Okay, we need to change up the redstone wiring a little bit too. Let's try that again. Okay, right. Looks like we're going to need the old school pulse extender a bit like this one. But once again, it really shouldn't be too long in the grand scheme of things. That's actually probably about right, because if we place the water on the inside here, so say for example, this is the setup that we'll have. So there'll be water. So these will be water sources, these will be water sources, those won't be, but these will be water sources. Now, if we put some fish on the inside here, now this is where we actually find out if it works, which is a little bit terrifying, because I haven't tried this out yet, which is really, really silly of me. So those top blocks will have opened. Now these fish are going to be bobbing around. Now, in theory, yeah, because fish are like that, they kind of go up to the top anyway, and they actually escape the place. Right, let's place some blocks in on top. So generally, the fish like to be up at the top, but then occasionally they'll do that sort of thing. So if we do this, so we swap the blocks. Oh, that is so perfect. So did you see all of the fish got out? All of the fish got out, and then what would happen is these blocks would then push back across, and they'd make sure that the fish get locked in that top section there. And then when we close up the door, what we'd be doing is we'd actually remove this water. So obviously the fish are going to have to, they're not going to be flying in the air, so they're going to drop down. They'll drop down into this water here, and then we'll close up those blocks kind of as that happens, shutting all of the fish on the inside of here. So then this will actually function in survival. These guys, you don't have to have spawn eggs anymore. They will be, this will actually work in survival mode. So if you wanted to build an aquarium door in your base, then you absolutely could, and it would look something, I guess, a little bit like this. Obviously, we're going to have to do some removing of blocks and other bits and pieces like that. But anyway, let's get the water out of here, and let's kill off all of these fish, unfortunately. It's going to have to be... Oh, am I going to have to do this with, like, a sword? Okay, let's get harming potions. We found out in the previous episode, or the previous time that we built this, that harming potions do a pretty good job on fish. I don't think they've got that many life points. Okay, that's all clear. So that soul sand system was working perfectly. So if we just do something like this. So right now the door is in its open state, even though it doesn't look like it because I filled in all those blocks. But if we do something like this, so we'll eventually, everything will close. Eventually, because I haven't actually, haven't got a redstone line in place. And then that will flip. And then as soon as that soul sand retracts, what we can do is we can actually do a falling edge monostable circuit on this pulse extender. That will then get rid of this water down at the bottom here. Hey, yes, we are onto something here. So we need falling edge monostable circuit off the back of this one. And then that will be running up into this yellow circuit here. So let's just grab some of that. And we can take this out, and we can actually do this using an observer, because observers are considerably better. That being said though, what would be the smartest way to link this up so that it interacts with both sides is to actually run it off from this redstone line, just to make things a little bit simpler when it comes to the redstone wiring. So maybe one on this side, and then we'll have an observer running across like this. And that will power a redstone line that goes in here. Once again, feel the need to stress that this is not going to be the most compact thing. I might actually issue a bit of a challenge towards the end of this video, but also I'll mention it now, that if you want to try your best to compact this design, then please do. I would love to see what you guys can come up with, because you are often incredibly impressive when it comes to compacting my redstone contraptions. I'm often left completely in awe at what some of you guys can create, because there are some absolute wizards out there with redstone, and you know, you're probably not watching at this point in time because you're probably like, this guy has no clue what's going on. But no, there are some really impressive redstone builds out there from some of you, and it's always fun to issue challenges. So let's see. So if we do the opening, I wonder if that's going to be too late. Okay, so that would be, if we close this, so we need to place water on the inside of this area, and then just for testing purposes, we need to actually use a bucket. So we just need buckets on the inside of these dispensers. So that's one bucket there, one bucket there, and that'll do the trick. Now let's see, how late is this, and does it work? Does it look cool, and is the water going to flow out and destroy all my redstone? Well, there's your answer. Way too late. And yes, it is absolutely going to destroy all of the redstone. Okay, we'll add some delay in here, and I don't think that actually we got away pretty scot-free there. We got quite lucky. I think there's only a few little bits and pieces that got destroyed, so I have to rebuild all of that. This is one of the many hazards. You know, Minecraft 1.13, you're often very, very tempted to use water inside redstone circuits, and often you're cruelly reminded why it's often not the best of ideas. So this time we're going to put some fail-safes in place, so that in case it doesn't work, we don't actually destroy everything. And we're going to have to grab these again. We're going to have to do this the long-winded way, so we have to replace those with buckets again. And then hopefully, now that we have the delay in place with the block swapper, oh no, that doesn't make any sense. No, see, that's not going to make any difference whatsoever. So let's actually sort that out. So the one that it's firing from, I mean, we probably don't need that much delay here. Yeah, because that pulse is maybe a little bit too long, so we'll go with 3 ticks. I'm surprised by how much that water spread in such a short space of time. I would have thought it wouldn't have actually spread that far. I was fairly confident that we were going to be okay. Wow, okay, so some of the redstone is clearly missing here. Oh, it was a repeater. Okay, so there was a repeater there. Got you. Okay, so once again, we need to replace all of the buckets and all of the water on the inside here. See, this is the sort of tedious thing. This is the sort of tedious thing that is always nice to chop out of videos. But as I said, I just thought it would be a really fun experiment. And this has been so well requested. It's always so well requested. You know, people always ask me, hey, I wish you didn't cut... And it's the same with the Hermitcraft episodes. People say, hey, I wish you didn't cut out a lot of the building, and I wish you didn't cut out so much in the episodes, but I spend 12 hours on those Hermitcraft episodes, so obviously if I didn't cut them, it would be very long videos. That 12 hours being condensed down to 20 minutes, you get a real impression of progress in such a small space of time, whereas 12 hours, nobody's going to be watching a 12-hour video. That looked like more like it. I think we're good there. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, this is a big redstone. This is a massive redstone circuit for what is essentially a very simple task. So I can't wait to see the more compact versions. Okay, so we've got that part. Now I guess those pistons up at the top there can literally. Let me think. So those pistons, the pistons I'm talking about are the ones up at here. So let me have a think about this. So these pistons here, they open slowly. So we've got all the soul sand. We need those to close as those doors open. I think it might actually be in our best interest to do something like this, where we literally these do the opposite. Ah, no, because... One other thing is I feel like they should be transparent blocks, because otherwise there is a chance that we will crush a fish, and we don't want to crush fish. That's probably not the best of ideas, so we'll use sea lanterns. I guess these also need to be on a pulse. These probably need to be on a pretty similar pulse, but it needs to be dual edge. Yeah, it needs to be dual edge. So we'll need to take... I mean, let's just see what happens if we do this. But yeah, see, the issue is that yeah, we don't want the doors to actually be staying open. We don't want these to be open while this door is closed, because we want this to be like an enclosed aquarium. Or do we? I mean, it would be quite nice having the fish bobbing around. Let's have a look. Let's see what happens here. So obviously we can't necessarily run in a redstone torch down the side in its current state, so we'll have to do something like this. And then that has been rewired, so that is now like that. So then if we just... Okay. That's not the way that we want, obviously. So the dispensers just dispensed out their water. So this should give us a rough impression. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, this is good. Because look, so the soul sand... I think we might be onto something here. I think we might actually be near the finishing stages. So we just need to do... and I would say that if we do a dual edge monostable circuit right at the start of the pulse, we actually might be onto something here, and we might have actually managed to pull this off, and that will be in record time. I might have to record one takes more often, because that has worked out incredibly fast. You know what? So there's something about speaking through my mind that has managed that makes it really easy. Like, actually having to talk through what's going on means that I'm not just sat there just in my head trying to think out things. It's almost like writing down your maths on paper. You know, if you try and do even simple multiplication, I mean, I can do simple multiplication in my head, but you know, like division and things like that, if you try and do that in your head, you end up in a massive muddle. But if you write it out, sometimes it always makes life easier. It might be the case with Redstone. Maybe you have to talk it through. Let's see. Okay. I've just thought I haven't got the water retraction system on this yet, so we're not quite on the home straight just yet. But we'll give it a whirl anyway. So at this point, the water should be out. So we'll quickly do this, and then okay. So the water's out. Now then, let's see what happens. Not brilliant, and I think that has something to do with buds. That doesn't look like a uniform... Yeah, weird. Buds get strange when you start messing with them. Okay, this is peculiar. Okay, so that's not a dual edge monostable circuit. Yeah, we don't actually need that piston there. We can do something like this. So we didn't actually create a dual edge monostable circuit at all there. We created a rising edge monostable circuit. We want a dual edge one. So that should do the trick there. And then for this, I think we should just literally have a clean slate, or I suppose... Yeah, we'll have a clean slate. We'll have a clean slate. I'm struggling with that sentence by the sounds of things. Right, okay, so let's go clear out the water. And then we will run blocks across the top, because I think the thing that it's not liking is it's not liking the kind of combination of various different ways in which they're being powered. So we'll have slabs here just to be extra safe. And then at this point in time, the door is open, but we have water because this system isn't quite built properly just yet, and we haven't got the water attraction in place yet. But the door is open, which means that there should be water up here. So once again, we need to fill in all of these buckets, and now we'll see, does all of this power correctly? What? That That is so strange. Did you hear how those powered then? That is really odd. Okay, we might have to come up with a new way to power all of these. So I think there's something odd going on with the way that these dispensers are working. So we'll run it in like this. I suppose I haven't really... I haven't really dealt with stacked dispensers in a while. So I suppose I've forgotten some of the quirks. But this, in a way, is more compact for starters. We have a more compact system now. And it's a tiny bit more elegant. I'm just hoping that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so we don't quite have enough. We don't quite have enough redstone there. So what we can do is something like this, maybe, if we... No, so we can't run the redstone out in this direction. I'm conscious not... okay, yeah, we'll cut that corner there. And then redstone there, block there. That will cover all of it. And that should mean that our dispensers aren't dispensing in a strange way. There we go, that's a little bit more like it. Okay, so there's the uniform. There's the uniform look that we have going on. And then if we actually quickly power this redstone line. So that will retract that water. And then that will retract that water from both sides. So this gives us like a good impression of how the door is going to function, because this is actually correct at this point in time. Yes, okay, that's good. Yeah, so that water retracted, and then these ones would have fired, and they would have shot out their water. So now the water would be out. So let's just quickly power these again. And that is that. So then the fish would have dropped down, and these pistons have moved out of the way. The fish will be in here, and then if we flick the lever again, that's pretty good going. That's pretty good going. Okay, so now we just need to do the dispensers firing at the start of this pulse. Yeah. Which I actually think... yeah, we don't actually... We could just do a dual-edge monostable circuit here. So instead of having just a rising-edge monostable circuit, if we do a setup a little bit like this... Redstone there. That's that. And then on this side... do almost something a little bit like this... then that means that we'll be firing in both directions. Did they fire? Ah. Ooh. That was confusing. That was a curious chain of events. What exactly is happening there? So we don't want that. We don't want that to happen. Definitely don't want that to happen. We've connected that into the wrong circuit. Yeah, because we need to be connecting this. Oh. Okay, you know what? We'll just do two different circuits. I think that's probably the way to go. So we'll grab the observer there, and then this observer was facing across like this. I'm probably making so many mistakes live on camera here, and that's one thing about talking things through, is that maybe you don't catch the more obvious mistakes. That's definitely something that I can feel is going to happen, and I'm going to watch this back and be like, this is so obvious. I'm going to be screaming at the screen. In fact, there's going to be a lot of screaming going on at home during this video. I'm 100% certain on that one. But yeah, so we'll just run this out like this. Once again, compactness is not an issue on this one. And then that one will fire that way, yeah. So this will be connected up to the doors. So just as the doors extend, trust me to do something like that. So if we do something like this with the observers, that's going to need to be a slab, because otherwise that will become a dual edge monostable circuit. So that's connected. And then this will be connected to maybe here. And that's that. So that should be all done, I think. Good. Very, very good. I think that was it. I think that was it. I think I'm going to use that term very loosely here. I think that was it. Oof, okay, now I guess we give it a test run. So I suppose it's probably smart if we put it in this situation, and then we'll get the fish in there. Oh, if this doesn't work, I'm going to be so upset. If this doesn't work, I'm going to be absolutely heartbroken. So here we go. We'll go tropical fish, because tropical fish are clearly the best type of fish. Alright, that should just about do us. So there we have the door. And then... oh, we lost one. We lost two. No. But that's so close to working, and it's so cool. Oh, what do we do about that, though? Our fish seem to be in shock. They seem to not want to be swimming around. See, that got all of them. That was okay. Okay, I've had an idea. What if we were to use slabs? Slabs are still transparent blocks, but I'm guessing is the water flowing down onto them? If we just take a look here, it's not. And we probably don't want them to be waterlogged, actually, because that will cause an issue. Oh, no. No. Please tell me. So those guys have fallen straight through, and also that does give them a gap to get out. I wonder if that was just a weird special case. I'm hoping that was just a weird special case. I mean, it looks good. It doesn't look like it's a problem. So we can remove all of this now, and then we can actually fill in blocks here and here. Unfortunately, this one isn't seamless. This one you can still see the pistons in. I thought that would be way too much for my little brain to comprehend while I was building. Doing like a one take of a seamless glass piston door with aquarium features, I thought would just be a little bit too much for me to handle. But let's give this a test. So there we go. The fish have just dropped down. And there we have our little aquarium. They're a little bit reluctant to move, as I say. Eventually they should start swimming about. But there it is. So there is our little aquarium system. And then if we flick the lever again... no! I don't know what to say there. They just about fall through. Oh. Do you reckon a little bit longer on this pulse? I almost think that could be the way to go. Now I'm going to have to replace these just to be extra safe. Okay, so those guys have just dropped down. It worked, but it was too slow. However, if we were to just increase the length of this pulse, then it might just do it. So I think maybe we were just kind of working a little bit too fast, and maybe that wasn't quite right. So now it should all be functioning, and we should have plenty of time. Those fish will all be pushed fully up to the top because it was all cutting in a little bit fine. So if we just look, so these guys happily swimming around. I find it so funny that they all just bunch up in the bottom right hand corner. I wonder if that's anything to do with, is the water flowing in that direction? Surely it can't be. No. It's just, I guess it's just the fish AI. That's kind of how it all functions. But if we just do this. Ugh! Ladies and gentlemen, we might have a situation on our hands. We might have a situation on our hands. Okay, let's revert things back. Let's revert things back. No panics. Redstone dust there. We're all good. We're all good. So I've just replaced those with slabs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to waterlog those slabs, as I feel like that could help with something. So let's get on the inside of here. And I'm actually being pushed around massively by these fish. I didn't realise. Jeez, I've caught a fish. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, let's get out of here. I guess I don't need to be in there. I can waterlog. I can waterlog from the inside, so we can go like that and like that. So those are clearly waterlogged slabs now. Now, if we flick the lever, so they've all dropped down, and they seem more spread out already. And we have some water. Oh, what? Oh, of course. So the slabs don't stay waterlogged because they're being moved by pistons. That could come in handy. That could be something that we find useful. Oh, I don't know what to say. I wonder if we need a slightly taller top section. Maybe? Maybe? Oh, it's difficult to know, though. It is difficult to know. I don't believe it. We might have a system where you occasionally lose a fish. And that would have me very upset if that is the case. So water there, water there. All of our fish will now bunch up at the top. Okay. Come on. This is it. I'm putting all my eggs in one basket here. So all the fish have dropped down. You guys know the drill. And then... Oh. Okay. Okay. I have just had a thought. So, what we could do is we could put dispensers here. The issue is that I don't think the soul sand is activating all the way through. Yeah, still losing fish. So, okay, here's what we're gonna do. So the soul sand isn't activating all the way through. Okay, the issue is is that... Oh, wow. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. Splash potion of harming. Whereabouts is that? So the issue that we have... This is the crazy, crazy place here. Did that get all of them? Okay, we've got all of them. So the issue is that these blocks here, they're not source blocks, okay? And that's a problem because the soul sand... Yeah, the soul sand then doesn't work throughout. It has bubbles up to this point and then the bubbles stop here. Whereas if we had bubbles going right the way up to the top, then obviously all of the fish would be forced up to the top. So what we're going to have to do is we're actually going to have to replace these blocks with dispensers, which also have water on the inside. Now this is going to be a tricky one to wire for a number of different reasons. Well, it's not going to be tricky to wire because to wire it, we just do this. The problem comes from the timings. I'm not 100% certain on what the timings are going to be of this, because we don't obviously want them to be dispensing into these blocks here. So we're gonna swap out the sea land. We're going to swap out the slabs once again with sea lanterns because I feel like that's a better solution. So let's just get inside here. So it just shows you, you know, with these redstone videos, you think you're done and you think you've got it all nailed, and then something comes up. And you actually haven't. You're miles away from where you want to be. It's like the story of my life. I'm also thinking if we do something like this, then that's a slightly more elegant wiring solution. Looks a little bit nicer. Now if we give this a whirl. Okay, that looked good. I'm confused as to what happened there. Yeah, okay, so we don't have anything there. We need those dispensers to fire on the soul sand pulse extender. Okay. We're alright, we're doing okay. So these should not be connected to this. It should purely be connected to this. So that's a pink line. And we can connect it like this. Alright. So it would do something like that. Okay. And then that's not how those things work. I remembered that just as I built it, so we have to actually run this out from here, because the reason that we got that redstone pulsing clock going on is because the observer is giving an update. Well, the observer is detecting every single time. The way that these pulse extenders work is that gradually the redstone pulse length degrades, and the observer was detecting every single one of those updates and was firing through. So that's no good. So let's go back to square one and we'll get ourselves a water bucket and we'll give this a whirl. Okay. Very good. Not bad. Not bad. But it needs to be earlier than that. It needs to be earlier than that. Or our doors just need to take longer to open. We could almost take that approach. But then there's a few things that are reliant on our doors. We'll give it a whirl. Should we give it a go? Yeah, let's give it a quick go. And just see what happens if we were to make things a little bit slower. That's all really good. What's that all about then? Where is that water coming from? I'm lost on that. Okay. Okay. So it's coming from... We actually kind of need the pulse... We kind of need it to be shorter. Wait, what? I'm so confused right now. Yeah, we need these... We need these to shut sooner. But these are based off of... Oh, what are these based off of? Yeah, these are based off of our doors. So we actually need the pulse to be shorter. Amazing enough. May seem counterintuitive, but that's the way that this is going to work. So maybe something like this. Oof, that seems real short. Okay. Ah, what? First off, go away. I don't know what that notification was, and I apologize for it. I don't have notifications on my PC. I don't know why we got that noise. But also, more importantly, I feel like I'm getting further away. Oh, now these have lost their things. This is not good, ladies and gentlemen. We will get there. We will get there in the end. I promise. We're gonna get this. Okay, so we've got the water. Let's just take it back to where it was. We had something that almost worked. The problem is coming... from that. So maybe if we literally this is okay, that works. That still works. So we've added in 4 ticks of delay. It's so close to functioning. So close to functioning. You know what? You know what we can do? Not. It's not that this isn't advised, but we could do something like this because we just need that water to go. So we add in another pulse extender, another one. This one. So what do we do on that side? So that side, yeah, that side ran into that. So if we just kind of do something. We're actually struggling for space. So you can have that there. Then we'll have to run the redstone down like this to stop those two interacting. And then we can run our repeaters along like that. So we had two, was it 2 4 ticks or? So 1 2 4. So that. It's only going to be 5 ticks longer, but this should help us. So it'll work exactly the same. That seemed worse. Let's go back to the root. What's causing it? We need those top ones to shut sooner. These shouldn't be connected with our doors. No, they shouldn't be connected with our doors. Instead, they should actually be connected up. Okay, how could we do that so that they retract immediately? So we need them to retract immediately. We've passed the hour mark. We need them to retract immediately, but we need them to extend. No. We need them. Yeah. I'm losing my mind. We need them to retract immediately, or almost immediately, but we need them to extend sooner. Kind of about there. But then we can't. I have an idea. It's kind of a little bit... No, that's not even going to work. That's not even going to work. So the only way that I can really think of making this function is by just holding our doors back even further. But that's a long time to have to extend out that pulse. What happens if we get rid of this? So the pulse extender will just literally revert it back to where we started again. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. And it's just letting the tiniest slice through. Maybe if... You know what might be better? Hold up, what's going on here? So that... Oh, okay. Yeah, so if we go like that, so if we take out some of the delay here, maybe the slice will be smaller, and then this is so trial and error at this point. I just want to see if we can get this to function. No! That's not what I wanted! Oh, this is no fun. Partly because a lot of it is quite bootleg in the way that we've done it. So these sea lanterns here, these sea lanterns being pushed across, it's not quite right. Yeah, because they're being pushed across. Of course, we're going to get water dropping down when they're being pushed across, even after the piston doors are retracting. There's no way that's actually going to function. And we need all of that to be happening much sooner. Now, there's not a whole lot I can do about that other than adding delay to a bunch of other things, which I don't think is a smart thing to do, unless we add the delay. Yeah, no, we need it to be faster, so that makes no sense. So I guess if we just keep extending out this pulse. So this will be, we'll go with, so we have 4 ticks to start off with, because we need it to be on 4 ticks. And then we add in maybe this much extra delay, just to really cover our bases. Then we should be fine. So that is that is an extra 7 repeaters. So if we just take this out from here, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or that would be 4, 5, 6, 7. So both sides should be exactly the same, and both sides should retract later. So here we go. That looks peculiar. How? What? I'm sorry, what? The heck? Oh, that makes sense. How are we powering this again? Oh, how are we powering that? I don't actually remember how we were powering that one. Okay, it's independent of this, and it will just be set to 1 tick. So I guess we can do that, and that should do it. All right, let's see. I'm so silly. I'm so silly. This is what, see, this is the sort of thing that you don't catch me being this silly. So yeah, we definitely need something that is going to extend those. So nothing that I do here in terms of pulse extenders is obviously going to work. So stop being daft. What we could do is almost make them separate, so we don't have them connected to the, yeah, okay, here's the new official plan. So we don't have these connected up. They have their own redstone line, similar to what we have going on here, and it connects in like this, and yeah, that will have delay. These ones won't. Okay. The only issue is that we are starting to get quite long in terms of our redstone line. But regardless, okay, so it's got to be blue. It's also getting quite big. This thing's getting extremely large. Man, see, this is the thing. With redstone contraptions, it's the last little bits. It's the last little bits that really add in. And obviously I'd be able to do a much better job of this if I wasn't recording at the same time, just because it's far easier to do it when you're not having to concentrate on also recording. It's why I never do redstone live streams, because it just ends up being a massive mess. And obviously this actual door would be far nicer looking, because right now it's just like a mishmash of just crazy redstone components everywhere. And we're not making things any better by adding in this extra circuit here. But regardless of all that, I think this could be what works. So we were really going down the wrong rabbit hole just then. That would never have functioned. Keeping these two redstone lines independent should hopefully fix up the problem. And also, if we wanted to, we could even extend out the pulses there. Now, am I expecting this bit to work? Not currently, especially because we currently have it the wrong way around. If I was just to place a redstone torch on the end here, would that wouldn't affect anything else? No? Nope. So I'm not expecting it to work this time. But it only has. It's just worked. That's just worked. I think that's just worked. I can't tell if those dispensers are working. Hang on. I mean, I'm hoping that that is long enough. I'm hoping we have given it long enough for all of our fish to go up into the top section and for none of them to be lost. And if they do get lost and they do die, then I'm just gonna cry myself to sleep. I think there is a chance that we have too many fish and they're actually pushing themselves down. That could genuinely be our problem here, is that they're kind of bouncing off one another and then they're getting stuck. So we'll try it with less fish in a second. It's a promising start. It's a promising start, ladies and gentlemen. We can get rid of this, so we now have a walkway. Nice. Okay, so all of our... Yes! Ladies and gentlemen, we have done it! We have created a fully functioning aquarium door that works in survival Minecraft. We've done it in one take, non-stop recording, and it functions. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've enjoyed this one-take redstone video. It's been a lot of fun to record. If you have, please just hit that like button. And if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.